A Place for Butterflies, written by Melissa Stewart and illustrated by Higgins Bond. There's tons of pictures of different butterflies and where they live. The monarch butterfly is all over our whole country and continent, really. But then we released the painted lady butterflies, which are not listed on here, but they are actually everywhere too. A Place for Butterflies. Butterflies fill our world with beauty and grace, but sometimes people do things that make it hard for them to live and grow. If we work together to help these special insects, there will always be a place for butterflies. As butterflies grow, they grow through 4 life stages. A female butterfly lays her egg on a plant. When the egg hatches, the caterpillar wriggles out, and after weeks of non-stop eating, the caterpillar becomes a pupa. It is surrounded by a hard shell called a chrysalis. When the chrysalis splits open, a winged adult enters the world. There's the winged adult. That's a black swallowtail. Like all living things, butterflies need to eat certain foods. Many adult butterflies feed on flower nectar. When people have gardens in their yards, butterflies can live and grow. This is the eastern tiger swallowtail. Have you ever seen an eastern tiger swallowtail fluttering around a wildflower garden or resting on an apple tree? These butterflies spend their days sipping sweet nectar. Their favorite flowers include lilacs, apple blossoms, and wild cherry blossoms. When people grow trees and other flowering plants in their yards, eastern tiger swallowtail butterflies have plenty of food. Some butterflies feed on sugary tree sap. When people work to protect forests, butterflies can live and grow. This is the mourning cloak. Most butterflies feed on nectar, but mourning cloaks sip tree sap and juices from rotting fruit. When wooded areas are destroyed to make room for houses and other buildings, mourning cloaks have trouble surviving. When people protect and preserve forests, mourning cloaks have a place to live and food to eat. Many caterpillars eat only one kind of plant. Some caterpillars depend on plants that grow on burned land. When people let some natural wildfires burn, butterflies can live and grow. So we think that fires, tornadoes, and hurricanes is dangerous and destructive, but Karner blue caterpillars depend on these kinds of natural disasters. The caterpillars eat only wild lupin, a plant that needs plenty of sunlight. Wild lupin grow best in places where all the other plants have been burned away or knocked over. When wild lupin has places to grow, Karner blue caterpillars can find plenty of food. Some caterpillars depend on plants that grow in wet places. When people protect swamps and marshes, butterflies can live and grow. This is the Hessel's hairstreak. The Hessel hairstreak caterpillar must eat the leaves of the Atlantic cedar, a tree that grows in swamps. When people drain the water out of these wetlands, the cedar trees die. Without food, the Hessel hairstreak caterpillars would die before they turned into butterflies. That's one of the reasons it's important to protect wetlands. So beautiful. Some caterpillars depend on plants that are poisonous to cattle and sheep. When farmers let these plants grow in fields where their animals don't grow, butterflies can live and grow. So the monarch, this is the monarch. The female monarch butterflies always lay their eggs on milkweed plants. It is the only food monarch caterpillars can eat, but milkweed can give cattle and sheep a terrible stomachache. Farmers don't want sick animals, so they often kill milkweed. But if they let milkweed grow in fields where their animals aren't feeding, monarch butterflies will be able to lay their eggs on the plants. Some caterpillars depend on plants that attack the trees people use to make paper. When people leave these plants alone, butterflies can live and grow. The thicket hairstreak. The thicket hairstreak caterpillar must eat dwarf mistletoe, a plant that jams root-like sinkers into trees and steals food and water. Dwarf mistletoe often attack the large evergreen trees that grow in western forests. For many years, forest rangers killed mistletoe because it was harming trees used to make paper and other wood products. But now they're letting it grow so that it can provide food and shelter for thicket hairstreak caterpillars and other forest creatures. Butterflies need more than just food to survive. They also need to stay safe and healthy. Some butterflies are so beautiful that people like to catch and keep them. When laws stop people from collecting these special insects, butterflies can live and grow. So this is the Mitchell satyr. Because the Mitchell satyrs are so beautiful, many people want to add them to their butterfly collections. In 1992, the little insects were added to the endangered species list. Now it is against the law to catch and keep them. The Mitchell satyr is still in trouble, but scientists hope it will be able to survive. Some butterflies are harmed by chemicals used to kill other insects. When people stop using these chemicals or spray them very carefully, butterflies can live and grow. So this is the Chas swallowtail. In southern Florida, giant clouds of mosquitoes filled the sky during the hot, humid summer. When workers began spraying chemicals to kill the mosquitoes, the number of Chas swallowtails fell too. In 1991, the spraying stopped in areas where the butterflies live. Now Chas swallowtails are making a comeback. Yay! Some butterflies have trouble surviving when new plants invade the areas where they live. When people choose native plants for their yards, butterflies can live and grow. So the Oregon silver spot. Scotch broom is a plant that grows naturally in Great Britain, but because it has pretty yellow flowers and grows easily, people in the Pacific Northwest planted it in their yards for many years. Over time, Scotch brooms crowded out many of the naturally growing plants that Oregon's silver spots need to survive. Now the butterflies are in danger of dying out, but if people replace the Scotch broom with plants native to the area, Oregon silver spots may have a fighting chance. It is so important to plant plants that are local, that are of our environment. Butterflies have trouble surviving when their natural homes are destroyed. Many butterflies can only live in open fields. When people create new grassy areas, butterflies can live and grow. The Harris checker spot. Not so long ago, small family farms covered much of New England, but now people are building houses and shopping malls on the land. In Worcester, Massachusetts, a local electric company wanted to create new places for the Harris checker spot to live. Workers often saw butterflies flitting around the grassy paths under the power lines. They asked scientists when they could mow the grass without harming butterfly eggs or caterpillars, and now butterflies can spend their whole lives in grassy places. Some butterflies can only survive in sandy thickets near the ocean. When people work to restore wild places, butterflies can live and grow. So the Palus Verdis blue. In the 1980s, a town in California built a baseball field where the last known group of the Palus Verdis blue butterflies lived. Scientists thought the little insects had disappeared forever, but in 1994, a few were spotted in a nearby Navy base. Many caring people helped plant sunflowers for the adults and deerweed for the caterpillars, and now the number of Palus Verdis blue butterflies is growing. These people made a difference, and you can too. So maybe you should try to see if you can plant a butterfly garden. When too many butterflies die, other living things may also have trouble surviving. That is why it's so important to protect butterflies in the places they live. Plants need butterflies. As butterflies feed on flower nectar, it becomes dusted with pollen. When the insect flies to another flower, the pollen goes along for the ride. At the next stop, some pollen falls off the butterfly's body and lands on the flower. Then the plant can use materials in the pollen to make seeds, which will grow into new plants. Butterflies and moths pollinate more plants than any other insect except bees. Without butterflies, some flowering plants might disappear from Earth forever. Butterflies are an important part of the food chain. Caterpillars rarely gobble up enough leaves to kill a plant. As they eat, their droppings fall to the ground and add nutrients to the soil. Both caterpillars and chrysalids are good sources of food for other insects as well as mice, opossums, skunks, birds, and toads. Adult butterflies are often eaten by spiders, dragonflies, praying mantises. Without butterflies, many other creatures would go hungry. Butterflies have lived on Earth for 140 million years. Some of the things people do can harm butterflies, but here are many ways you can help these special insects live far into the future. So you could start a butterfly garden. If every neighborhood had 1 or 2 butterfly gardens, many more butterflies would have everything they need to survive. There are plenty of great books you can help begin a butterfly garden. To get started, you'll need a water supply, a variety of plants that bloom through the spring, summer, and early autumn. Ask the workers at a local garden center which plants the butterflies in your area like best. And this is how you can help butterflies. Do not catch and keep butterflies. Do not spray chemicals that could harm butterflies. Join a group of people that is keeping track of butterflies in your area. Write an article about butterflies in your school newspaper. Start a butterfly garden in your yard or neighborhood. Or you could, if you write something, I could also post it. And so thank you for joining me for A Place for Butterflies.